What are the top 5 best events that seem to be gone forever and probably will never return? Yes, indeed, we're doing a delve into the history of Marvel Contest of Champions in this video and looking at various different types of special events, side quests, and challenges which, you know, Kabam seem to have in some way abandoned and haven't actually returned back to. And these particular events can be, you know, special things that really the community came together and absolutely loved, or gave some really spicy rewards, or had a different narrative or spin to the way that the event was experienced by the player base. Be that through special currency or store, a weekly grind narrative, or just some special and grindable type event. Over the last year, we've definitely seen some questionable events, some fun events, some weird events, some, well, ones that we'd like to forget type events. But then we have had some really kind of fun stuff. This is why we begin with honourable mentions. Cosmic horror and the usage of the summon symbiote was something that was incredibly fun. It allowed you to engage with this one champion which you had to rank up with the catalyst you were given, and at the same time battle yourself through different types of quest grind, getting special pre-fights, getting some fantastic buffs, and interacting and having just so much fun against this particular content. And this has been truly unique and a fresh perspective. The biggest difficulty with this is if it will actually return. Will it return back once a year? Well, it took 3 years to get a sequel to this particular event based on the fact that we had a summon symbiote in October 2018. So yeah, I don't know if this will return back on a yearly basis, and definitely would feel like something that Kabam, we got to wait another 3 years for them to commit to something with this, but you got to live in hope because it was a great event. Next up, on a very rare event that Kabam seemed to again abandon because they did something with X23, they did something with the Miss Marvel, and it was showcases. This allowed you each month at the start of the month to pitch yourself against some of the new champions coming into the game and just kind of get a feel for, are they easy to evade? How can you prepare for the fights when it came to things like event quests? And this was great. This allowed players to prepare for that content. Instead, nowadays, it's just a case of going, the content is out, go grind it. And if you fail in the fights, then you fail in the fights. But that's just it. You know, whether or not something like this would be good to return to in the future, I don't think Kabam would look at it as good investment of time of their development. But I definitely feel there would be some usage to it. However, though, this has been replaced by duels. Although duels of certain champions is not really there anymore. That should return, and I think that's probably where it is, replacing this with duels of certain champions, but now we need them back. Another honourable mention is celebrity challenges. Yes, Kabam do challenges. That's not something I'm kind of like pointing out here as something they've abandoned, because last year we did see Shang-Chi's Close Quarters challenge, but celebrity-based challenges. Now, I do understand, you know, paying a celebrity for their time to endorse something, and as well tying stuff into movies, is something of a, well, very real challenge. The asking price for a celebrity to do something to endorse this may be a lot more than you might think. And, you know, with future releases, having something saying the Jared Leto Celebrity Challenge may be something that, hey, he's not willing to kind of participate in and do. But there's been so many cool ones in the past. There's been Tom Holland, there's been Chadwick, there's been Dave Bautista, a whole plethora of kind of like celebrity endorsed challenges, and I would like to see it return in some sort of capacity. But I just don't. I think Kabam will stick with the challenges side of things. They just won't do with the celebrity challenge, which is kind of a bit sad because a lot of the time this is good promotion for the game, getting it out over the social medias of those respective people, those celebrities, is usually good for the game and the stability and health of the game, and new players picking it up. But celebrity, no. Challenges, yes. Now let's get down to the business end. 5 events which have been put out once, twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times, but have been abandoned, being re-released to the community. Starting off with number 5, which is still something that could return, by the way, and that is the Grandmaster Gauntlet. For me, the Grandmaster Gauntlet is one of the best pieces of content out of 2021. Some people agree with that, some people don't. I think that had everything when it came to an element for people. When it came to roster creation to deal with the certain interactions of paths, I mean, here's like an image right here from Deacon of some kind of like paths and some of the champions on there. Yes, there were some that were kind of annoying, but you were building a roster to take on these, and it allowed you to more thoroughly prepare your roster and really think about champions. That's the one thing. When you get to really think about what champions you're putting on kind of like a team to take on the end, and whether it's a case that you would create it taking Apocalypse and making multiple horsemen throughout that particular quest, whether or not you were bringing some sort of interaction, maybe you're bringing Doom and slapping a little bit, maybe you're going here, there, or everywhere, then that was kind of like the cool element. And at the fight, you had that old Immortal Thanos fight, which was, you know, it's fun to return back to this stuff, and it's literally like a one and done, so you only do it once and then it's done. And that was kind of like, that was cool as well, rather than having to repeat it where you have to do so much you know, other content. It's about repeating the same boss time and time again. It was like a one path and done, or you could do some I don't know, go branch off. In any case, I speak of it very fondly as well because the rewards, and the rewards are something that kind of made this content more fun and something you actually felt could bring your roster forward. Whether or not it was getting a good chunk of tier 5 class catalyst, maybe out of the, not in the current meta for 2022 versus 2021, and also it being very specific to certain players and progression titles. The other thing is the chunk of tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha. That's the other thing, and all of this here just sweetened the deal, and this was great. This content was put out last year, and I thought we were going to get this within 6 months after the release. Turns out we didn't, and it's still not come back. And I don't know if it'll ever will. Kabam said it would do, but look, we are now 3 months out from a 12-month hiatus, and I don't think it's coming back. Next up, and the Baron's War, or what I like to call side versus side narrative content. Side versus side narrative content. What the heck am I talking about? Well, 1 month where you are getting a choice of which side to go on. Back on the release of Civil War, so that sort of like Marvel film, the Captain America Civil War film, the third one in the franchise, there was a monthly tie-in event which, if you were on Captain America's side, you had special bonuses, boosts, and a focus for your grind. In particular, 2.5% critical hit rate, and your opponents deal 10% less special damage. If you're on Iron Man's side, it's that you would get a boost to your critical hit damage, and your opponents gain 10% less power. Very, very cool, very, very nice, and just like cool to have some kind of like, I don't know, new narrative to it. Similar but not the same to the Baron's War. Baron's War, I think in the last couple years was put out and was just a very fun kind of like interesting event. This did tie into Marvel Realm of Champions. The narrative to this, that if you're a worshipper of Apocalypse and choosing a side with some sort of amulet, each side has different rewards. Ancient one focuses on rank up materials, and Apocalypse side focuses on hero crystal shards. So you got a choice then between what you wanted to do. The great thing about this was that you were able part way through the month to change where you wanted to go, and that was pretty fun to go, okay, well, you know, halfway through I want to do either stick the entirety of the month in shards or go down the route of going rank up materials. So you get the choice, and that was great. I took the idea of something like the Civil War event back in 2016, I want to say, and kind of put it into this new spin that was really creative and cool. And this is just something that Kabam haven't really done much of. Yes, you've done something where it's like, okay, well, it's just shards 1 month, or you can choose between shards and rank up, but they've not ever done like a side versus side type thing, or kind of played into that in any kind of new tech and new type side quest type element to it. Okay, the Feelin Green event. I talk about the Feelin Green event once a year, even more so when it comes to the event not actually coming back. For many years, this has run out where you got to, if you win a fight with a certain champion that is green in nature, green in color or association, and in particular a science champion, which you can see as part of this is the old event of how it looked like. You got some boosts and some of the green items, a green crystal at the end of it, but the main thing you pick up is revives, which you can see right there, but those boosts massively help out. This is a little fun event that I'm always very surprised that it doesn't return back, and seems to always kind of go between the I think World Earth Day #1 and #2 St. Patrick's Day. Mainly St. Patrick's Day, which you can see with the 4-leaf clover that is there in association with luck of the Irish and things like that. And it's just a fun event, and I just kind of feel like it's one of these situations of, it ran until 2020, So I think it ran for like a good amount of years prior to 2020 and then stopped on 2021. Wasn't there. We didn't see it last week or the week before, or any kind of like before or after St. Patrick's Day. So it's sad not to see it return back, and it's just a bit of a feel-good event, which, you know, the community loves. Same thing with Halls of Healing, but again, same principle. It's same thing like this. It's very rarely some of these stuff kind of come back in normal circulation. So I always say expect the unexpected when it comes to Kabam and events in-game. Now, a bit of a hot topic here, and hot being romance, love, and all that stuff. Love as a Battlerealm. So Love as a Battlerealm was launched on February 2015. So, you know, close to like Love Day, Valentine's Day. It then came back a year later in 2016. It then came back again in 2017, looking like this and having, you know, a fun brand. And this is when Kabam started adding in the elements of nodes and not complication, because the game was always a skill game, but it kind of got more kind of like pushed towards the skill element of understanding champions, abilities, roster, and things like that. But definitely the complexity of these events increased a lot from start to where it is right now. It then came back again with Love as a Battlerealm 3-2, and then came back for what seems to be the final time, which is Love is a Battlerealm 4-1. In the last two iterations, it seemed to come back more as a side quest, so an accompaniment to the main event, which you know, that serves a bit of a problem because it didn't come as separate content. So it wasn't like treated like a boss rush or anything like that. It was just opened as like that kind of weekly, monthly grindable content that we normally, like we've seen like this month right here. In this event, which like in the past had things like Love Juice. Do you remember Love Juice? People must remember that. Special kind of like revives. It was just a lot of fun, special champions. Yes, we had stuff where it was like, okay, with the power of love synergy, but it wasn't kind of branded as Love as a Battlerealm, which is, and yes, it is similar, but it lacked those kind of like the love juice, the potions, and things like that, which made the month and the event fun, because like you were able to get like some more revives, and that's fun because then you're able to do some content with them, not necessarily Love as a Battlerealm. For those interested, the special health potion looked like that, and the revive looked like that. So so yeah, you can just like see this was just a lot of fun, and that's like when the shift in the narrative has changed, and adding those little extras, a little health potion and a revive, and as well like the narrative to it, especially with Diablo and potions and things. It's just sad to kind of go away from that. Yes, we got a good event on February, and I'm not knocking that. I'm just going to say like it's sad not to see something like this that had those kind of extra elements, those potions, revives, those fun things, and also some really kind of like interesting node play, if I remember rightly, especially in previous ones where we had, I think it was like Massacre in some way. I don't know if it was this one, Love as a Battlerealm 4-1, or it was 2 years prior. So really kind of interesting node play, which I kind of thought was quite cool. And of course, the number one like event that I think we all love to see return, but it looks like Kabam aren't going to run it back or return anytime soon, is Mutant Treasure Island. I came up with an idea, and I think even Kabam had kind of like confirmed the Mutant Treasure Island to return, but I had this really cool like idea, which I'm still going to submit as a side quest idea for Mutant Treasure Island, but I just like the way that it was made, the way that you would kind of go searching for booty and kind of keys and things and unlock the lockers, and the way that you kind of able to go down different paths to grab the rewards that you want and have that choice. For me, it kind of emulated an event which I loved in the past called Rocket's Scrapyard. Again, another event that hasn't returned, but again, like, I rather than kind of mention it and not going to return back to it, I think Kabam said they would never, it wouldn't be returned. But essentially, it's the same type of event where you get to go down different paths, which I think we've got an image of right here. Yes, there we go. Where you're able to go down different paths with the keys to unlock stuff. Rocket's Scrapyard was kind of similar in that you had to kind of like open up different paths with the volume of currency to get the rewards at the end of it. So it's kind of like the similar thing. So I guess we could say that this is Rocket Scrapyard and Mutant Treasure Island are under the same vein of, look, Kabam have abandoned this type of thing because this didn't return back in 2021. Will it return back in 2022? Hard to really say at this time, and I want to go with no, unless it's something that kind of like, you know, next couple of months it pops up. Otherwise, I really doubt it will return. And yeah, you can definitely draw some similarities because this is from Rocket Scrapyard, where you kind of went down. I don't think it's like they'll do an energy spend, but you just go down to where you want to grab this particular type of reward and then kind of continue on to the end. You do a little fight, but it was really easy, and then it's all over. But yeah, like it was great. You collect scrap like a currency and then go down the route of where you want to go. So that was cool. And it is, as I said, similar to Mutant Treasure Island. There we go. That has been the video. Thank you very much for watching. What other side events, side quests, challenges, special quests that Kabam have put out that have not returned that you would love to see returned, but you know, maybe Kabam have kind of abandoned the idea? Put it in the comment section down below and I'll check that out and maybe do a part 2 to this. Thank you very much for watching. Check out some other content which is located on screen right now. I love these type of videos because we get to delve into the history of Marvel Contest of Champions. So yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.